That was great. Thanks, guys. Hey, so, from a topic you love talking about, comedy, to a topic that a lot of us don't even want to think about. So much so that 70% of people don't even have one. But our next guest says, if you're over 18, you should have a will or estate plan in place, and she has some really good reasons why. Joining us this morning is Jasmine Young with Young Law Group. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. And folks, I know she looks young. She's old enough to practice. Don't worry about that. She has some good information for us. So Shane, let's get serious here. Why is it so important to have a plan in place as young as 18?
Yeah, so really every adult should have a plan in place, because otherwise, if you don't have a plan, then the state or even a judge can make decisions for you. So anything from healthcare to who has access to your bank accounts, your social media accounts.
Makes sense.
How your assets would be distributed upon your death, what happens to your kids if something happens to you. So really it is important to have some type of planning in place to address all of those really important decisions, so that while you're alive and well, you are making those decisions for yourself, for your family, for your assets, in the event that something happens to you.
Okay, what are some of the common mistakes? Because just listening to what you just said, I'm like, okay, wait, I didn't do that, I didn't do this, and I have a son.
Right. So the common mistakes, number one, a lot of times people focus on assets, and so they don't have an estate plan because they feel like, well, I'm not wealthy enough, or I don't have enough things to have an estate plan. So that's the number one thing, is that people just don't have any planning in place at all. And then for the people that do have plans in place that focus on protecting their assets, a lot of times what they have is forms, really a set of documents that are forms, and they don't take into account their specific or individual needs and what their wishes are. And so what ends up happening is those forms aren't updated according to the changes in your life and the law, and it doesn't actually work when your family needs it to. So some things that I see often with respect to estate plans and assets in particular is that assets are not tracked properly, and so if your assets aren't tracked throughout your lifetime, they can actually get lost to the state.
Shane, you got me. Oh my gosh. Okay, I thought I was on it right now. I'm realizing I am not. Okay. All right, so we're almost running out of time here, but most people, we don't start thinking about all this stuff until we have kids. You're a mom, you know this stuff, right? But we need to start thinking about it before then, and when we do have kids, what do we need to do?
Yeah, it's important if you're a parent to have a comprehensive plan in place for your kids, so short-term and long-term.
Okay.
And I'm a mother. We were talking about this earlier. I'm a mother. I have 5 children. And what I realized when my husband and I were on a date one night was we didn't have a short-term plan in place. So if we didn't make it home that night, in those immediate hours, our kids would actually would have been taken out of our home into the care of Child Protective Services. So the state would actually step in and take over because we didn't have a proper short-term plan in place. And the authorities would have to figure things out, during that time. And so, in a horrific type of situation like that, you don't want your children to have to go through that. So I made sure that I put together a short-term and long-term plan for my kids, and that's what I do for my clients as well.
Okay, Shane, listen, we're going to have to make an appointment because I thought I was on it. My husband, we're going to have to call you. Anyway, okay, there's an offer that you have for our viewers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we've got 2 offers for the month of June. The first one is for recent graduates or parents of recent high school graduates who are now young adults.
Okay.
And if they book a planning session with me, then I will actually give the first 5 callers who book sessions a free healthcare directive for your children.
Okay.
The second special is for Father's Day, which includes a complimentary family wealth planning session.
Okay.
And dinner for 2 on me for the first 10 callers. Okay. So the first 10 viewers that call and book appointments with me will be able to get those promotions.
I love it. There's the information, the phone number there as well, 702-835-9212. It's younglawnv.com, and I got a lot of work to do. Thank you so much, Shane.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Rachel, didn't this get you thinking, like you thought you had your stuff in order?